This is a PreachEb. This is a hip hop womanist sermon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ebony Janice. I go by Ebony Janice, which means that you should call me Ebony Janice. And I'm here to talk about how Rapsody sees us in a way that the church should probably be taking notes from. Here we go. Most rappers talk about black women. Rapsody has an entire catalog talking to black women. And I love that for us. So there is a difference between being referenced and being witnessed. When you reference black women, very often we become characters and caricatures even that you can reference. You could talk about black women. You can even name attributes about us that you like. And that usually is what happens when a lot of rappers talk about black women specifically. There is a referencing of like, oh, okay, hair, nails, butt, thighs, hips, eyes, wine. Sorry. Bars. But the difference between that, that referencing and actually naming is when you say, this is the experience with the hair. This is the experience with the body. This is the experience, with the relationship. This is the experience with the conversation. This is the experience with the body. I think I said body already because body, yaddy, 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 yaddy. Sorry. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion. Anyways. So I'm saying that to say this what Rapsody has done this her whole career. There isn't a moment where Rapsody has a revelation that that's what she wants to do with her work. From the beginning of her career to this day, she has not stopped really naming, really witnessing black women fully through her own lived experience and through the lived experience of other. Look at one of her last albums where she literally names the whole album after some of her faves, some of her icons, some black women that have meant so much to her in her own journey. And there is something very actually profoundly theological about that. In fact, being witnessed to the point that you name a thing. Actually, that makes me think about Hagar being the first person to name God. Hagar, a black woman in the Bible, is the first reference, the first record of God having a name as something other than just, God. Like God, Hagar is like, this is this moment. Hagar names this moment, puts a flag in this moment and names it and names that guy. And so that is what Rapsody has been doing her whole entire career. She's witnessing a moment and she names what it is. She doesn't just casually let it bypass. She gets into it and really fleshes it. And the reason why I say that Rapsody is seeing us in such a way that I think that the church could learn from is because the church references black women. There's some way in which we are often even used. Our bodies are used. We become production. We become the Sunday school teacher. We become the bell ringer after Sunday school. We become the person making the snacks for the kids. We become the superintendent of the Sunday school. We become maybe even the curriculum developer or the support. We become the church secretary. And there's a way that we're referenced in that regard. Come and do this. Come and do this. Like there is a way that we are that our value is not in the fullness of who we are. Whereas if the church were to witness us the way that Rapsody witnesses us in her language, it is to say, here is this person doing beautiful work. This is ministry. How do we make sure that we are taking care of her in the fullness of her experience so that she isn't just another body that's being used in this space for production and for what she can produce and what she can create? And I love that. I think, in the tradition, in this womanist tradition, naming something is the most I think it is like probably the most important thing when you think about the fact that Alice Walker came to the name of womanism before she wrote about it in Search of Our Mother's Gardens. The first time she ever was talking about womanism was when she was telling somebody was calling this relationship between two black women lesbians. Mind you, there's never any sexual conversation fleshed out in this discussion, and they never call themselves lesbians. And Alice Walker writes in response to this book review, and she says, hold on a second, basically at the very least we should get to name ourselves. And that is where she then started fleshing out the definition of womanism. And so the naming that Rapsody does, the witnessing that she does in that naming, is the theological thing that I'm asking the church to consider more deeply. How do you not just reference black women in the church? How do you witness black women in the church to the point that you begin to name black women in the church? Shout out to Rapsody for the beautiful womanist work that she's been doing for all this time. I love this for us.